Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be creating our UI for the actual app itself. We left off last time running the Electron app, so now we have to get started with Bootstrap. If you don't remember from last time, Bootstrap is a library that allows you to scaffold web pages very easily using their CSS library. So if we go to their documentation, getting started, and scroll down, npm install bootstrap -vue, or you can do with the Vue CLI 3 plugin, which we have. Vue add bootstrap -vue, which is what we're going to do. So I copied that line of code and I opened up a terminal. So I'm just going to command V and let that run. Okay, so now that that's done, we're going to select no. We don't really need that. And boom, it added the plugins folder. It contains our bootstrap -vue. So now we have to actually build the UI. So we're going to get started. So we're going to add a folder to the source folder. We're going to call it views. And we're going to create a new file called home.vue. Then we're going to do default.vue. What this is a plugin that allows me to just scaffold a quick Vue app. Just go to your extensions, type in Vue, and Vue 2 snippets, I believe, is the one that does this. So now we're going to go back to our template and we're going to type in div and create a div. You must do this for all of your Vue apps. It needs a container for all of the elements inside of the template, so make sure you do that. Then what we're going to be creating is a list or a to-do list. So we need to create a b-list-group, and first we're just going to make a dummy list just to make sure everything is working. So we're going to give this some dummy text, and we're going to give this the active prop. So what the active prop does is it highlights the list group item in blue. So we're just going to copy this, and then we're going to delete the active prop on that one so you can distinguish between the two. So now we're going to go down to export default, and we're going to name our component. So then we go to app.vue, and we need to import our component to actually use it. So we don't necessarily need the hello world right now, or we don't need it anymore, so we're going to comment this out for right now. And we're going to import home. We're going to go to our views folder, then home. So now we need to actually use the component. So we go down to our components here and type in home after the import. And then we're going to go up here to the template and we're going to type in home. Okay, so now that that's done, we need to actually run this. So npm run electron serve. And boom, now you can see that we have the two list group items. One is displayed in blue, the other one is not displayed with anything. So we're going to go here and we're going to make this dynamic, this list group item. So go down here, go to your data, and we're going to function brackets, and we have to return some data, and we're going to name this items. So this is going to hold all of our items that we want to display in the list. So we're going to do to do after the to-do list that we're creating, and we'll just say clean room, and we'll copy this. Let me add a comma, copy that, and we're going to paste it a couple times, and clean the bathroom, clean bathroom, and clean living room. So if we go here, we get rid of this list group item, and we change this to v-4, and we put it in parentheses. So what we're going to do is basically create a for loop that goes through every item in the items list, and it's going to bring out whatever data that we want it to. So we're going to do the parentheses, comma, index in items, and we have to give it a key. That's why it's mad at me right now. So you're going to do index, and as you can see, it goes away. So then we have to actually display the data from the items. So we're going to do curly brackets, item dot to do after the name here. So now that's done, sorry, sometimes it doesn't update. Okay, so I'm going to do Control C. So npm run Electron serve. Okay, and as you can see, it displays all of the data that we created. So now we need to create action buttons on the data itself. So if we want to modify the data, we want to delete the data, or even if we want to add new data. So close that out. And inside of this, what we can do, we can create a row. Sorry, it's not going to do it because that. So b.row. Then we're going to have two columns inside. That's one. That's two. So in the first one, we're going to display the name again, or item dot to do. Then in the second one, we're going to use a button, and we'll call this delete for right now. And we'll give the variant, this is a bootstrap class, and we're going to give it danger. So basically what this will do, make the button red. And then if we do Electron again, as you can see, now it has the delete button on it. So now what we need to do, I don't necessarily like the active prop on there right now since we have red buttons. It looks frankly ugly. So now we have to actually provide the functionality for deleting the button. So we're going to go down underneath our data. We're going to create methods, and we'll just say delete to do item. Right? So we need a parameter for this so that it knows which item we're going to delete, right? So we'll say index, and then we'll say this dot items dot splice, and we'll give it the index and 1. So the 1 basically says that we're just at this index, we're going to delete one item. So then if we go to the button and we say at click, and we call the name, so delete to do, what did I call it, to do item, and we pass in the index. This is why I use the parentheses with the item comma index. You are able to actually use just without the parentheses, without the index, just item in items, but we need the index for the item, so that's why I did that. So we're going to pass in the index of the item, and what it should do is delete that data, as you can see. So we Control C. Well, now we need a way to add items. So we're going to go underneath this list group item, or list group, and we're going to create a button, and we'll say add row, or add to-do list item. So now we need a function that pushes to this array of items an actual item. So we say add to do item, and we don't need a parameter for this one, so we're going to say this dot items dot push, and we're going to specify to do, and we're going to give it an empty string. So now we have to go back up to the button, say at click add to do item. Right. So now that that's done, you can see at the bottom we have add to do list item. What that does is just create add to do list item. So we can delete that, we can delete anything we want here. So provided that functionality. Now, well, actually I'm getting close to being short on time, so in the next video we'll do even more UI stuff where we can bind this to an actual input, so we'll be able to customize the actual items that we put in the list. And yeah, thank you for your time today. Stay safe in this quarantine, and goodbye.